The main important thing when you're looking at this one that a lot of students have trouble with, just remember, guys, when you have a negative in front, just think of that as like a -1. All right? That makes the distributive property make a little bit easier, a little bit more easier to conceptualize. So it's just a -1, basically. So therefore, we need to apply distributive property. So -3 times a +3 is going to be a -3. And -3 times a -b is going to be a +b. And that's really it. However, we need to classify it, right? So remember, if you just have a variable, we can always think of the variable as raised to the first power, right? If we don't have a variable at all, you can always think of that as a variable, or we're talking about b's here. So you can always think of that as a variable to the 0 power. Yes? Yep. So to write that in standard form, you always want to have the highest power first. So you'd write that as b minus 3, right? Because you guys see how 1 is higher than 0. Plus. No. The b is positive, so be careful. Yep. See it? So the b is positive, so you want to make sure, but you don't need to write the plus in front of the b. But that's a -3, so you want to write that as -3. Do you guys notice how the 1 is with the b? I'm not going to rewrite it there. But since we know the 1 was with the b, now we can say that the power is, when it's 1, we call that a linear. And then there's 2 terms, so it's a linear binomial. Right? Anybody know what number 13 was? Was that number 13? No. If you just had a number, just a single number, does anybody know what that is?